excited for our next presenters. Dustin, my brother-in-law, and Kristi, my sister, will be talking about the power of networking. Dustin and Kristi are, I feel like every month they have a new story about someone they met at some restaurant or a side event from the actual event. They're constantly talking with people, engaging with people, and really excited for them to share the ways that they approach networking and connecting with people. So, Dustin, Kristi, we'll get you guys on up.
Okay, check.
Ready?
Maybe. Okay, welcome. Thank you, everyone. My name is Dustin Preston. I grew up in a little town called Pima, Arizona native. I grew up most of my life swinging a hammer. I was a construction guy most of my life, and about 15 years ago, we went into real estate and had a pretty successful real estate career. And lately, we've kind of transferred into multifamily properties and buying those and really helping people invest their own money and rehabbing them and creating these really nice communities for people to live in safety, comfort, and really well maintained, buildings that don't have broken windows or leaky faucets or anything. And that's really important for us to kind of give back to these tenants, because there's a lot of slumlords out there, and we try and do the best we can. So I wanted to introduce, my wife is going to introduce herself, but I wanted to tell you a little something about her. She's amazing because she is everything I'm not. She's the girl that will read all the fine print on like a car contract and every legal document with a fine-tooth comb, and she's amazing at spreadsheets and accounting and all these things that she probably won't even tell you, but I just wanted to kind of bring that to everyone's attention.
My name's Kristi Preston. Also a native Arizonan, born and raised in Mesa. My first kind of experience with networking was probably like 20 years ago or so. I had my own accounting business, and I decided to join a networking group so that I could build my clientele. And in that group, I met another guy that was a mortgage broker, and he had me start working with him, and I came into his office and helped do their accounting. And long story short, through that whole little group that I met, I ended up selling my business and working full-time and being the CFO of that company. And so networking from a long time ago, I've realized the importance of it. And so we're excited to share a little bit about our journey and why we think it's so important.
So define networking. Networking is nourishing and building these relationships in your personal and business life to have a better future. And what does that mean? Well, so we go to networking events, and as real estate agents, we meet a lot of people. And when we do that, we see kind of what not to do and what to do and how to go about it. But imagine if you go to a doctor's office and you have a pretty bad knee injury, and you're waiting there in his office, and you've waited there to get an appointment for this doctor, and obviously you have a bad knee problem, and he walks in the door, and he says, "Hey, you get headaches?" Yeah, I guess so. Sure, I think everyone gets headaches. "Oh, great. Here's a prescription. This will take care of your headaches," and then just leaves. That's what a lot of people do in the networking events. They're like, "Oh, let me give you my business card. I'm going to solve all your problems." Well, I don't, I didn't come here for headaches, You're just going to throw that prescription in the trash and walk out, and you're never going to talk to the guy. But if you have a doctor that comes in and says, "Hey, what's wrong with, what's going on in your life?" "Oh, well, I have a bad knee problem." "Hey, you know what? Let me look at it. Let me see what's going on." And he really evaluates your needs. And even if he's not going to do anything, he's going to say, "You know what? I don't know that this case is going to be the best for me, but I have a doctor that is going to be perfect for you, and he's going to fix you right up. You're going to love that doctor for the rest of your life because he really took the time to understand what your needs were and how to fix them. Same thing in these events, and real estate agents do it all the time. Here's my business card. Here's my business card. Like, I'm not even looking for a real estate agent. I'm here to buy soap or something. And so that's kind of one of the key things is really listen and understand what other people need. And sometimes it's not you.
Why is networking important? If you were to just sit in your house, and a lot of us have home offices, and you never go out, you don't ever talk to anyone, you're not out meeting people, versus someone that's constantly going out to events, constantly meeting new people, there's going to be so many more doors and opportunities that are unlocked for those people that are out there meeting people, versus if you're just kind of closed off and sitting in your own little comfort zone, opportunities aren't going to be presented to you that are to people that are out networking. When you go out and network, you're going to build relationships. You're going to, even if you're networking with industry professionals, you're going to grow your knowledge, you're going to grow your experience, and it's extremely important from my experience. Entrepreneurs who actively engage in networking are twice as likely to grow their businesses compared to those who don't. It's basic math. The more people that you meet, the more potential customers or clients that you're going to get, and the more your business is going to grow.
Build your network. You can start now utilizing all the clients on your phone. I mean, I really like the pick up the phone and see how people are doing approach. I'm a very phone call person. But I really do call people all the time and say, hey, how are you doing? When I see all these Facebook, oh, happy birthday, I call them on the phone. I say, you know what, happy birthday. Are you having a good day? I'm genuinely interested in what they're doing, why they're doing it. And people are like, oh, you know, I'm having a good day, I'm having a bad day. And that's a really good time to like kind of get your voice and get your rhythm of speech. Because a lot of people don't have it. They stop and they don't understand kind of what they're wanting to say in the future. So I think that's a really good thing, is start now utilizing all the contacts you have. Attend events, an online present, which I'm terrible at, but people are really good at it. The Instagram, the Facebook, the LinkedIn, those are all great. And then follow up. You always have to, like, once you get, you know, some information, you meet someone, you want to follow up with them. Hey, put a calendar reminder. Hey, I met Bob Worsley, and I want to talk to him about 3 weeks. Like, let me send him a text and just say, hey, I hope everything's going good. I would really like to go see Zinni Homes. I haven't had time, but I'd love to like reconnect when you're available. Acts of service, that has built my real estate career for sure. Anytime I've sold a house, I usually show up with a big truck full of tools, because you know that was my strong suit. Is I can show up to someone's house and go help them do baseboards, and I can go help them, you know, hang curtains and hang blinds and do all the little handyman stuff. But then all of a sudden, all their friends and family are coming over. Oh, who are you? Like, oh, this is my real estate agent. Wait a minute, your real estate agent's doing the trim work in your house? You're like, well, yeah, he was a contractor, and and then I have like all these contacts that are like, well, I want you to be my real estate agent, you know. And so that's been a really good thing, is the acts of service of really going forward and trying to kind of put it out there of, I can't stress enough, the acts of service when you're, you know, networking is always my favorite thing to do. And then networking is always ongoing. Always be open for a conversation. Always be open to listening and trying to understand what that person is wanting, you know, because that's always a good thing.
Some of the benefits of networking. So I'll give you just one example that kind of has all of these in it. We went to a networking event in February, and I met this awesome lady. Her name's Erin Hudson, and she was like the queen of networking. I would watch her, and she would just bounce from table to table and meet everyone, and then she started connecting people, which I thought was amazing. So if person over here needed something that person over here had, she would just put the two together and then walk away, and nothing was in it for her. There was, no gain for her at all. And she is a person that has done countless Zoom calls with us. She just offers her time for nothing. She just literally wants to help people. And I have, we gained a mentor from that one person. At this same event, it was a 3-day, and so we were there with probably 1,000 people. And every night we would all hang out, and it was a multifamily event, and so we all had, that in common. And we gained 10 to 20 new best friends that anytime we have a problem in our business or we're struggling, we can go to any of those people, and we all have the same passion and the same end goal, and they're there to kick me in the butt if I need it, and they're there to cheer me on when I need it. So many of them today, they saw us post this, and I can't tell you how they're all like, you guys are gonna do so great, we're so proud of you, blah, blah, blah. Just awesome people. Same event, we met our future business partner.
Yeah.
We were able to meet, he's gonna tell the story later, but met a future business partner. So you're gonna learn from people, you're gonna grow, you're gonna find amazing support teams. It's not all about just customers. You're not just going to networking to get customers.
No. Networking tools, LinkedIn, networking events, industrial conference. So this is the one I'm telling about, Jake?
No.
Corey, okay. So LinkedIn. Corey hit us up. We met him at a coffee shop. He's like, hey, when can we Zoom tomorrow? And so we met him at a coffee shop on Tuesday? This Tuesday? Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, we met him Wednesday. He actually came to this event yesterday. He was trying to make it. He's actually golfing with some other people, but it's amazing how little social network, LinkedIn post, just responding genuinely, seeing if you can offer anything, if they need, and instant friends, because you're offering your services, you're offering what you can do, and you're genuine about it,
So a few networking tips that we have for you is the first and foremost, which I think so many of us have touched on the last 2 days, is just to be genuine and authentic. If you're fake and just trying to see what's in it for you, when you go meet people are gonna know, and they're not gonna want to connect with you. They're gonna just move on and talk to someone else. Listen actively, pay attention to people. People like talking about themselves, so ask them questions, let them talk about themselves. Take lots of mental notes about what it is that they do, what it is that they like, how many kids they have, and then follow up and stay in touch with people after these events, after you meet people. Make sure you follow up and add as much value to them as you can.
And this is a mindset right here. I can't tell you, go into the conversation with that mindset. What can I add to these people's lives?
Not what's in it for me.
Not what's in it for me. You're gonna sound terrible. What can I do to benefit every one of you guys in this room? How can I make a connection? Even if there's nothing in it for me, how can I add value? That is a whole mindset that changes the conversation. It changes how your posture. It's gonna change literally everything that comes out of your mouth.
And then just my last silly tip is we go to these events and you meet so many people. And if you get phone numbers, I promise you're not gonna remember who they are. You're gonna leave the event and you're like, oh no, I totally am gonna remember her name. You're not gonna remember. So what I started doing is I started taking selfies with people, and then when they would send me their number, I would program that picture as their as their profile picture on my phone. And then I would text the picture to that person and be like, so great to meet you, had so much fun. And then that way they remember you guys have a picture together, versus later, you're not gonna remember who they are.
And if they have a lanyard that has their name on it, that's really important too, because then you get the correct spelling.
Yes.
Like me, I'm not a very good speller.
So one of the big things that I think a lot of us have are challenges with networking. A lot of us are afraid of rejection. We don't think we have time, or you possibly think you're shy and you can't talk to people. With fear of rejection, it's one of those things that you just have to practice. the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to be. It's just like any sport or musical instrument that you played. You're not going to be good at it the first time. And so practice is going to maybe make perfect. And also, who the hell cares if someone rejects you? You know, walk away and go talk to someone else. It's not a big deal. Not the end of the world. Move on. Lack of time. First, I would say make time, because it's extremely important. So if you think you don't have time, try and figure out how to make time. And if you really don't have time, there's so many events that are either online that you can do, or you can do networking breakout rooms. And also, networking doesn't have to be formal.
Network while life happens.
So we've met people out at restaurants. Dustin and I like to go sit at the bar at a restaurant, and that way we have new friends on both sides of us, instead of just sitting at a table and being closed off and talking to each other, which we also like to do when we go on dates. But we also like to meet people. We have met, we've met some of our best friends out and about.
$3 million house. Put an offer on $3 million house just from sitting next to, like, you don't have to be a drinker, you don't have to do any of that, but just go and sit next to people and introduce yourself.
We've also, we've been at a restaurant and, there's a long line, long wait to our wait.
A 2-hour wait, and
we're
we got
at a
table.
Top. So we saw some people online. Hey, come be our friends and come sit with us and have breakfast.
And then sell them a house 3 weeks later. Like, these things happen all the time. People are like, man, real estate's so hard. I'm like, how? You could sell a house every week if you wanted to.
So you do have time to network. You can network in odd places, in the grocery store, at a restaurant, at the gym. Like, it does not have to be formal networking. And then if you think you're shy, first of all, I would challenge you to question yourself if you actually are shy. This happened to me this year. In junior high and high school, I was very shy. I was quiet. I didn't like to socialize. I liked to just sit back and watch everyone do everything. I didn't really like to be the center of attention at all. And I went to a networking event in February, and I had people coming up to me, and they were like, you're so confident, you're so this and that. And I was like, who? They're talking about me? Like, what are you talking about? They're like, no, you're so awesome. Like, I'm so glad that we got to meet you. This is great. And I'm like, we went to dinner one night, and I literally broke down into tears, and I'm like, I think that I am this shy person that I used to be in high school, and I'm actually not that person anymore. And it was a breakthrough for me to realize that I was reflecting this old version of myself, and that's not who I am anymore. I'm actually fine talking to people. I'm confident in front of a room. I like socializing with people, and I'm not this shy little quiet person that I used to be back in the day. So I'm sure I'm not the only one that is self-reflecting a childhood version of myself. I'm sure there's many of us out there. So I would first look into yourself and see if you actually are shy and if you actually are, not going to be able to talk to people. And then my second tip would be to find yourself a friend. Go with Dustin is super social. He's way more social than I am. Find yourself a Dustin. Take someone that actually is really chatty, and you can just hang out and get your feet wet and stand with them at an event, and let them kind of do the talking, but let you warm up to the idea. And that way you get some practice in, and you can learn learn how to, network and talk to people. And so that's my tips for that one.
Okay, so here are some of our success stories. As you can see, we network a bunch, and some of these things are past clients. Some of these people have helped us buy a $12 million real estate apartment complex. Some are the founder and author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and we really do love meeting people. Some of these are favorite memories. We're literally making money while we're having the time of our life. It's been the greatest thing ever, is to network and really genuinely find out how to help people and make money at the same time. I mean, that's what we like to do, and we love doing it. And they're our biggest support. They're our biggest cheerleaders. They're our best business partners we've had. And that's because we've always been open for these conversations. We've always been uplifting, and we've always tried to see how we can add value to other people's lives. And in that, you find some really good people, and you have a lot of fun doing it. So I have a challenge and an ask. So my challenge is start networking. And if you are the big fish in the small pond, get a different pond. You know, go big. Like if you're the smartest and richest dude in the room, go to a different room. And if you're a billionaire with a yacht and you don't need to network anymore, here's my ask. Go be the big fish in the small pond and teach people and really reach out and really grow, because I think that's how we grow as a community, and how we grow as like people is big fish teach small fish get to be big fish, and then complete the cycle. And that's a really good ask and a challenge. If you're a small fish, go be in a bigger pond, and if you're a big fish, go teach some little fish how to swim.
And we wanted to challenge everyone to commit to going to some sort of networking something a month. Again, it doesn't have to be formal. It doesn't have to be some huge conference. It can be out at a restaurant. It could be at the grocery store. It could be at the gym. Talk to someone new. Make some new friends. I want everyone to try and do at least one something a month. I'm sure you guys have heard this saying before, but your network is your net worth, and it's so true. Who you surround yourself with is super valuable. If you were constantly hanging out with like a room of, let's say, servers. I love going to the restaurant. I like servers, nothing against them. But all you're gonna talk about is like where to go get drunk after work, and like where's the next party, and like it's not gonna better your life if you are hanging out in a room of entrepreneurs and people that are successful in their business. That is gonna help you grow. And so your network or your net work is your net worth. I want you to surround yourself with the people that you want to be, and also help everyone around you. Thank you guys for being here. Our last little tip, this QR codes is our contact information, but Blink is an awesome business card,
So
digital business card.
It's an app that you scan a QR code and it'll download your contact information in the other person's phone. Super helpful. You don't have to carry around business cards, and you can personalize it, and sometimes you can actually switch in between. If you just have a personal one and a business one, you can actually give which one you want to give, which is kind of important too.
It'll have all your website, your Instagram, all your social media, everything on like one card. But again, thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. And do you have any questions? Questions, anyone? Shoot.
That like you asked to like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's hear them.
So you're in a networking group. I like to ask straight off, hey, what brings you here? Was there someone that you were looking to meet with? Is there a particular group that you had in mind? That works with billionaires, that works with, the whatever, and they're gonna go, well, I'm here for this reason. Okay, well, I've been in the room, and so this is really weird and really funny, and it's probably too much information. I drink a lot of water, typically. I drink a lot of water because I could actually leave the conversation and go wash my hands and program their contact information in my phone and take notes. I usually take a lot of notes and be like, well, this is weird, but like every real estate agent I've ever done a deal with, I've programmed their name, their number, the address, and then something personal about them. Here, watch. This is crazy. I'll just go to W. So this is every address I've ever sold a house to, and I have. And sometimes I've sold multiple houses with that real estate agent. And when they call, I'm like, oh, Beth, how are you doing? Your dog, you had like a dog birthday party last time we talked? You're like, what? This was 3 years ago. How does this guy remember? I don't. but usually it's you ask what you can do for him, is my go-to. It's always, what can I do for you? Or what have you want to know what they need. Because if you're a connector in the room and you connect 4 or 5 people and you literally say like, oh, you need a girl that's like really good at spreadsheets and one that makes all the details, I'm going to march Kristi over and then set her right in front of you and say, you know what? She's amazing, and I'll talk her up. And then I just filled your need, and she looks amazing, and now that's what she likes to do. And I connected you guys, and I do that 1 or 2 times, and you're going to be like, dude, that crazy redhead knows everybody at the party. No, I just try and
listen to what?
Yeah.
Let them talk about themselves. Listen to what it is that they do.
Absolutely.
Ask the general questions like, what is it that you do? And
What do you do?
let them talk.
What brings you here? Are you looking to meet anyone? Oh, yeah, man, I really wanted to talk to Bob Worsley at Zinni Homes. And, oh, okay, yeah, I just saw Bob. Let me go grab him for you. That's the biggest. I just fulfilled something you just spent 6 hours thinking about, and you probably bought a ticket, and that's like the best thing for people is.
I think in non-formal situations too, like you can totally talk someone up by just like looking at what apparel they're wearing and be like, oh, cool, you got an ASU shirt on. You went to ASU? And just start a whole conversation.
I would talk about your hat. I really like your hat. I think you probably spent a good amount of money on that hat, and it was in your profile photo, so I think you're proud of it. And so I would say, man, that is a fantastic hat. Can you tell me about that hat? And I bet you could talk my ear off for about 10 minutes. But that's what I would do. If I approached you, I'd be like, and then I would be like, well, why'd you come here? Oh, well, I was kind of looking for a media person. Oh, you know what? I know just the person. Sean here is great at it. And I networked with Sean the first time about a month ago, and I did that same thing. I always talk up because if you're networking together with someone, it's so easy to really talk up the other person, because I can say things about Kristi, or I can say things about Sean, or whoever in the room that they can't say about themselves, because it sounds shitty and braggadocious and whatever. No one wants to hear about them saying how good that other, but if I'm like Riley Woods has the best smile. Every time I walk into the Woods family, I look at Riley and I'm like, dude, that guy's gonna make my day just by his big grin and his genuine attitude. But that's just how it goes. Any more questions?
No. Thank you.
Thank you. Crushed it.